a month, once a year, once every 10 years. You always pick up right where you left off, you know. It's going against guys like Danny Whalen who practiced every day for 4 years. It's trying to score on goalies like Guy Van Arsdale that made me a better player, and I appreciate all of my teammates for that. It's playing in games with Danny Whalen, Tommy Rosa, guys like that that make all that hard work special, you know. It's like what Larry said about the winter workouts up in Bristol Gym, like 11 o'clock at night, with the heat turned up and full sweats, you know, all the way to the time 220s we have to do to prepare ourselves for the playoffs, were something that made those bonds stronger, because when you got to those games, it made all that hard work pay off, and those games were special. There's so many games I can recall. And I was fortunate enough to start on a team with Larry when he was a senior and I was a freshman, and to be on the field when he scored that goal, and to be at the bottom of that pile was something special I'll never, ever forget. I think the most important, one game I'll always remember is the UNC game that Mr. Hanna spoke about. It was my sophomore year, and back then they used to play what was called a Battle of Champions. They took the Division I champ and the Division III champ, and they played the following year. And it was sort of like a kickoff classic for the year. North Carolina had just come off of back-to-back national championships. They were 26-0. They had 3 guys that already made the world team that were on that team. So needless to say, they were pretty good. We knew they were pretty good too, but when we went out and we scored the first goal, like in the first minute, we said, we're not that good. You know, we can beat these guys. You know, but then they went off and ripped 5 straight goals on us. You know, and we're like, oh God, what are we going to do now? But we were able to score 2 more goals late in the first half. We went into halftime, I think down 5-3 or something like that. We knew we could play with these guys. So we went out in the second half and we scored 5 straight goals on that. We maintained this 3-goal lead for most of the game until late in the fourth quarter. They scored 2 quick goals on us. It was a 1-goal game. So Coach Eric calls a timeout. In the timeout, that's all he said to us. You know what? You guys just got back from Florida, where you worked your butts off for the whole week. There's 4 guys in a hotel room, smelling each other's dirty jockstrap for the whole week. You're going to blow this game? I don't think so. We broke out of the huddle, you know, and I'm walking on the field with my fellow 2 attackmen, and I said, you know what? Now that I think about it, those rooms did stink. So he did exactly what he wanted to do. Is he stopped that momentum, stopped us from thinking about that momentum swing. Went back to play on the cross. We scored 2 goals. And we beat them by 3. It was unbelievable. Yeah. Unbelievable timeout. That's one of the best timeouts I've ever seen. Coach, I'd like to thank you, Coach. It was my honor to play for you for 4 years. And your compassion, your respect you had for your players was unbelievable. And it's something that made us work hard. Made us want to play hard for you, because being a father figure, we didn't want to let you down. So I thank you for that, Coach. As you can see and hear, I come from a fairly large family. I also married into a fairly large family too, and most of them all here tonight, so bear with me when I go around my thank yous. I'd like to thank my sister-in-law and brother-in-law, Roland and Bill Huffner. Roland and Bill actually lived in Syracuse when I was going to school at Hobart, so they actually saw me play a few games when they lived in Syracuse. Now we have the fortunate experience, though, to watch our sons play against each other this year. Your son Michael's a defenseman at Bucknell, my son Devin's an attackman at Towson, and they're going to be playing against each other this spring, so it's going to be really cool to watch that. So. Thank you guys for coming. And thanks for those epic Christmas parties. Those things are awesome. I'd like to thank my sister-in-law and brother-in-law, Patty and Ross Cavallero, their son Ryan, who, even though he played baseball in college, we still love him. And their daughter Caitlin, who's a lot smarter than Ryan. She's playing lacrosse at MCC right now. So I'm sure everyone in this room has heard that saying, if someone's going to cut off their arm for you, that saying was made for Patty and Ross. They're unbelievable people, and I don't think I'll ever be able to thank them for everything they've done. Patty's so close to our children, especially my 8-year-old son. He jokingly refers to his grandma. So she does a lot for us, and I thank you guys for that. I'd like to thank my sister-in-law and brother-in-law, Marty and Kevin Hart. Marty and Kevin just came in today from Birmingham, Michigan. I know that drive well. It's a long drive, and we took that drive a lot with our kids when they were young. We got a lot of memories, and I thank you guys for coming tonight. Thank you for those memories from sitting around the campfire, the lemon donuts. We have some great memories. Thank you guys for all that. I'd like to thank my father-in-law, Dick Fry, who is arguably probably my #1 fan. Whenever we go to lacrosse games, he's always telling stories about me. And I can sit and listen to his stories all day because this guy's a great storyteller. And I can also count on him to ask if I have any questions about my family history. He knows more about my family history than I do. So I thank you, Dickie, for all your support for me and my family. Appreciate that. I'd like to thank my sister and brother-in-law, Angela and John Hennessy. Their son, Sean, who played lacrosse at Hartford. Brendan, who played lacrosse at Queens. And Ryan, who's currently playing lacrosse for Hobart coach Matt Hatton at McDaniel College. When I graduated college, I moved to New Jersey. My wife was going to school at Rutgers, and she was my fiance at the time, not my wife at the time. And I would stay with her in the dorm. I'd just have to steal guys' IDs and go get something to eat during the week. And I did that because I knew that I was going on a weekend to spend with Angela and John on Long Island. And all we do is just eat our faces off all weekend long, so I could make it through another week. We even made it through a hurricane too, didn't we? Yeah. So we had some great times. I'd like to thank my sister, Mary Beth. Everyone should have a sister like Mary Beth. It's because she owned the liquor store. Not only because she owned the liquor store, but seriously, everyone should have a sister like Mary Beth. Her compassion, her comparing, her heart is what we need more in this world today, so I thank you for being a great sister.
Thank you.
I'd like to thank my sister, Tim, and brother-in-law, my sister Tim, sorry, that's her husband. My sister Peggy and Tim. Peggy and Tim came all the way up here from South Carolina. They're both retired, and they came here to South Carolina for this, so that means a lot for me. So I thank you guys. Peggy's a hairdresser, so I thank you for all the haircuts you've given me and my family. And Tim's a retired state trooper, so he helped me a lot of tickets. I'd like to thank my sister Kathy and her husband Tim Mitchell. Their son Zach, who's a goalie at TC3. As you see, I come from a fairly large Italian family. My mother made the most amazing homemade sauce. And out of our whole family, it's our baby sister Kathy who can make sauce, just like my mom. So I thank you, Kathy, for having that comment. I also have the fortunate experience of having an extended family. And I'd like to thank my stepsister, Lisa, and stepbrother-in-law, Mark Kroll. Lisa and Mark have a unique relationship with my wife and I. We were best friends before we became family. So I thank you guys for your friendship, and I thank you for being here. It means a lot. I'd like to thank my mother-in-law, my stepmother, Dee. I thank you for coming into my dad's life and bringing an abundant amount of sunshine to him. I thank you for everything you do for him, and I thank you especially for bringing a smile back on his face. I'd like to thank my children. Devin was a junior at Towson. David's a freshman playing lacrosse at Ithaca College. Kyle is a sophomore in high school, just got done playing football, played lacrosse in the spring for him. And Christopher is my second grade. He's not here tonight. He'd rather stay up with a friend than come see his dad. But I know every parent in this room is proud of their children, but there's none more so than me. Not only are these guys great students, they're great athletes, but they're just great kids. Proud to be called their father. I don't think you guys will understand, well, maybe until when you get children of your own, the depth of my unconditional love I have for you guys. I love you guys very much. Finally, I'd like to thank my wife, Kay. Kay and I have been married for 26 years. We've been together 30 years, over 30 years. And needless to say, we've been through a lot. I honestly can say I couldn't have done it without her. It was, and I know that I wouldn't be the person I am today. I know that our children wouldn't be who they are today. It was her selfless act.
I'm gonna cry.
Just put away her career, stay home with our children that made our family where we are today. I'll be eternally grateful for you for that, and I love you more than you know. And finally, I'd be remiss without thanking my mother. My mother unfortunately passed away 13 years ago. I'll never ever forget her smile, her big smile, and her hugs. Her warm hugs always made you feel like, you know what, everything's going to be okay. And I don't think anyone else is going to forget her tailgate parties outside of Boswell. They were famous. And I guarantee she's up there in heaven tonight with a red Solo cup in her hand. I guarantee she's got my mother-in-law with her. We've probably got a Michelob Light in her hand. And they're smiling and toasting us tonight. So,
Just got a Mick Light.
Again, Mr. Hanna, thank you very much. President Guerin, the Hobart Hall of Fame Committee for bestowing us a great honor, myself and my brother. And as my dad used to say growing up, good things come through those who wait. And Dad, I went right by you, didn't I, without having to say thank you. My father's is Dickie, I'm sorry, but he's probably my #1 fan. There hasn't been too many games he missed, and it didn't. And after every one of those games, it didn't matter how bad I played or how bad I stunk up the joint. He always had something positive to say. Never had anything negative. Never dwelt on the negative. And it's that positiveness that made me not only succeed in sports, but succeed in life. So I thank you, Pops, for instilling that confidence in me. I love you very much. Thank you very much.
Awesome.
The great Negro League baseball player and philosopher Satchel Paige often said it's okay to look back, just don't stay.